The living room was in chaos. Boxes piled in corners, the old couch half covered with a bedsheet, and a buzz of excitement hung in the air. The new sofa had just arrived, and with it, an unusual tension that no one mentioned, but everyone seemed to feel. The heat of the day didn't help. Summer had arrived with all its weight, and each movement made the tight clothes cling even more to the skin. She wore shorts that barely held their place, and a tank top that revealed the slight shimmer of sweat on her collarbone. Her boyfriend guided the movers, shouting instructions, while her daughter danced around with excitement. The neighbor, curious as always, popped in uninvited, offering help that wasn't really needed. And then there was him, the stepson. Older now, with a gaze that lingered a second longer than necessary. He held one end of the couch, his shirt sticking to his back, muscles straining with the effort. While adjusting a rug under the frame, she bent down near him. Close. Too close. The edge of her arm brushed against his thigh as he shifted. Neither of them spoke. The fabric of the couch scraped the wall with a small screech, but the sound barely registered. What caught her off guard was the weight of his breath, short and sudden, hitting the side of her neck when he turned toward her without realizing how close they were. She straightened up fast, pretending to adjust her top, but her pulse betrayed her. The test seating began. Everyone took turns. The cushions were firmer than expected, inviting awkward shifting and fidgeting to find a good position. She sat last, between her boyfriend and the stepson. There wasn't much space. Her bare thigh brushed against his jeans. A second too long, and he didn't move. She glanced forward. Her boyfriend was distracted with the neighbor's small talk. Then, the stepson leaned back ever so slightly, eyes fixed on the ceiling. But the tension was between them, resting right there in the cushion seam. Her breath caught for a beat longer. The new sofa had that stiff showroom firmness. Everyone laughed about how they'd have to break it in, but for her, it was already starting to feel broken in, just in the wrong ways. The room felt smaller now. Maybe it was the heat. Or maybe it was the fact that each time she shifted to get comfortable, her hip seemed to realign with his. She crossed her legs carefully, as if that tiny move could undo the last 5 minutes. But his knee stayed exactly where it was, too close. And when her thigh grazed it again, she didn't flinch this time. Neither did he. Across from them, the daughter had fallen asleep on the old chair, curled up like a kitten. The neighbor kept rambling about curtain colors. Her boyfriend had half his focus on the conversation, half on his phone. And there they were, in a house full of people, but inside a bubble that only they seemed to notice. He got up to adjust the cushions on the opposite side. She followed, saying she needed to fluff the backrest. They met at the corner of the L-shaped section. No one else noticed how her fingers grazed his as they reached for the same pillow. No one saw the way her breath changed when their shoulders brushed, or the way his jaw tightened when she didn't pull away. It wasn't intentional, not really, but something had shifted. Just like the heavy sofa they'd been moving, something inside the room had been dragged into a new position, and now it didn't sit right. Or maybe it sat too right. The final touch was placing the small cushions. She leaned forward to press one into the side support. He stepped in at the same time, trying to fix the corner fit. That's when it happened. The sudden shift of his foot caught the edge of hers. She stumbled slightly. He reached out fast, grabbing her waist to steady her. Their bodies met in a jolt. Her chest pressed against him. His breath hitched. And she stepped back, eventually, brushing her hair behind her ear as if that could hide the flush in her cheeks. He cleared his throat and adjusted a pillow that didn't need adjusting. No one had noticed, or at least no one said anything. The daughter stirred and rolled over on the old chair. The neighbor finally left, waving from the gate with a satisfied smile. Her boyfriend yawned, muttered something about taking a shower, and disappeared down the hall. Just like that, the living room emptied, but the air still felt heavy. She sat down slowly, sinking into the sofa. The cushions, now broken in by all the testing and pushing and brushing, felt warmer than they should. Across from her, the endiado hesitated before sitting on the other end. He looked exhausted, sweaty from all the lifting, his shirt clinging to his skin in ways that distracted her more than she was willing to admit. For a while, neither of them spoke. She picked at a loose thread on the seam. He reached for the remote but didn't turn the TV on. They just sat, bodies still humming from the earlier tension, pretending it hadn't happened. Eventually, his head tilted to the side, eyes fluttering closed. Sleep found him fast, pulling him into the kind of peace she wished she could share. She watched his chest rise and fall, steady, calm. Then she noticed something else. Her boyfriend, standing at the hallway entrance, watching her, watching them. He didn't speak either. She met his eyes. He didn't look angry, not exactly, just knowing. There was a long pause. Then he gave the slightest nod. Not approval, not disapproval, just